In Vyagra Yoga, subtle space is the realm of consciousness that is most closely aligned with the spirit. Reflecting upon the pyramid of the self, we see that in the present Yuga, the Kali Yuga, the body forms the foundation of consciousness. The capstone of the pyramid represents the furthest point of consciousness within the self. Elements of consciousness that are closer to the foundation are expressed in gross form, whereas elements that are closer to the capstone are expressed in subtle form. When we access the spirit, we are doing so from a subtle position. Exploration of this element of consciousness as it relates to the self is the exploration of the subtle body. When we extend our awareness beyond the subtle aspect of the self, we enter into subtle space. This is similar to what is described in astral projection. However, the concept has been refined to account for the nature of the self within the present Yuga. Within the tradition of Vyagra Yoga, there is a spectrum of prana that moves from the most subtle position at the spirit body to the grossest form at the material body. Spirit prana is the subtle form of energy that flows through the self, and blood prana is the gross form of energy that flows in a similar manner, but through a different channel. When we seek to express a tantric practice in the material, we want to access blood prana. This pathway to tantric expression is very important in blood magic traditions such as voodoo. Conversely, spirit prana is accessed in subtle space in order to interact with the unifying element, which opens a path to communication with beings that exist outside of the present dimension. The material body is our ultimate expression of individuation, while the subtle body provides a means of accessing a unified point. If we are working to root ourselves in an autonomous position, we do so in the body. If we seek to root ourselves in interconnectivity, we do so in the spirit. Understanding the qualitative aspects of these elements, we may begin to explore subtle space and blood prana in a manner that is conducive to the realization of our individual dharmas. It is important to recognize that because we live in the Kali Yuga, there is a general bias in esoteric schools towards the subtle body. This is due to the fact that subtle elements seem to be more difficult to access than gross elements. However, this is not necessarily true. Vyagra Yoga presents both the ascending and descending paths of Tantra. The ascending path is oriented towards full expression of the subtle body, whereas the descending path is oriented towards the realization of blood prana. Both elements are equally important, and both hold an important place within a tantric practice.